And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was a crime-infested rat hole. And they do have a lot of rats. We're getting rid of them too. And we've made a lot of progress. And it was extremely unsafe, and now it's extremely safe. We had virtually no crime. The number was down 87%, and I'm trying to figure out where was the 13%.
For carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge, and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge, and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
Oh boy.
In other news, President Trump continues to deliver on his promise to restore law and order to our nation's capital. Since President Trump's intervention, there have been more than 1,283 arrests right here in the District of Columbia. Total crime in D.C. is down 19%, and violent crime is down 30%. Carjackings in the district are down 67%. Homicides are down 57%. Robberies are down 40%. Motor vehicle thefts are down 32%.
Beautiful.
And assaults with dangerous weapons are down 23%.
Beautiful.
And property crime is down 18%. These numbers prove the president's bold actions to make D.C. safe and beautiful again are working, just like he said they would.
Boy, oh boy, what's going on, family? I know we had to get into this. I told you, once Trump said this, that lady got in line quick. She surrendered quick and even came out and thanked President Trump. You know, they said the hell with y'all numbers. We ain't done counting. We never going to stop counting. We are going to make this place great and safe. Simple. The man told you what he was going to do and he did it. Love it or hate it. You see the numbers, everything has come down. You know, not one homicide, carjackings, robberies, everything down. We actually have a president. Yeah. And you get to see him every single day, 7 times a week. And it feels like we see him every 5, 20, 30 minutes. So how is that compared to the previous administration? A night and day difference. I tell you, man. But now they're all coming out and thanking President Trump, saying President Trump was right. Even Democrats. But after Trump said this, yeah. Oh, that heifer got to fall in line. That heifer got to surrender. This is good.
In Washington, D.C., we have the lowest crime numbers they've had in years. Zero, it sounds like it's a horrible thing to say, but I might as well say it. Zero murders in the last week since we've done this. That's the first time in memory that that's happened, if you can believe it, how pathetic that is to have to even say it. And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was a crime-infested rat hole. And they do have a lot of rats. We're getting rid of them, too. And we've made a lot of progress. And it was extremely unsafe, and now it's extremely safe. We had virtually no crime. The number was down 87%, and I'm trying to figure out where was the 13%, because I don't think it existed. The National Guard has been unbelievable, and they're working with the police, and they have some very good people in there. They have some people that shouldn't be police, actually, but they have some great people there. And the Washington, D.C. is a whole different place. And
we have just in breaking news right now. Trump just posted this an hour and 20 minutes ago. Calling out, guess what? The one and only Chicago. Under those incompetent, grossly incompetent, disgraceful Democrats. Pritzker, the Brandon Johnson, Frohawk, Mohawk, they don't even have a 10% approval rating. And the residents of Chicago say, please, Trump. They are begging Trump to come down there. But Trump just says Governor Pritzker had 6 murders in Chicago this weekend. 20 people were shot. But he doesn't want to ask me for help. Can this be possible? The people are desperate for me to stop the crime. Something the Democrats aren't capable of doing. Stay tuned. President DJT. Boy, this was breaking literally a couple minutes, an hour and a half ago. Wow. We will see what comes next. Chicago, Chicago, Chicago. Tick tock, tick tock. And I think they ought to arrest that mayor and walk his big buddy out. Walk that big governor out too. Walk that big sloppy fella out too. The Pillsbury dope boy. Walk him out too. Grossly incompetent.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it, just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded.
When you actually go down there on the ground and talk to Chicago residents, when you go down there and talk to the people down, you actually go down there and talk to real people, they say, yes, we want President Trump. And we think that they should comply, that the governor and mayor should be fine with whatever Trump does and bring them down here. Make this place safe. And they asked this lady, look, hear what she said. Hear what she said. CNN at that. Fake news CNN.
We need the crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded.
And this journalist reporter says, crime has dropped, but do you feel? No. No. The hell with y'all numbers. The hell with y'all rigged, manipulated numbers. We don't care about it. The people don't feel safe. The people seen somebody unalived right across the street. They wake up, car gone, tires gone, rims gone. No. Just can't make it up. The hell with CNN though. God bless that young lady for speaking the truth and calling for what it is. Good, ma'am. You just went viral on CNN. This is good.
One man wanted in connection with an armed carjacking in Maryland told us that, why are you sending me back to jail? I won't even be there very long.
The judge is literally going to say we're going to put him on a 3-day hold. Then once the 3-day hold is up, and a who never shows up. I done been over DC jail 6 times for the same warrant. They never show up. DC jail has to release me. They release me. It's the same thing every time. The same thing every time.
Remember what Judge Janine told us? She wasn't lying. Judge Janine Perot was not lying, and many others. What a disgrace.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime.
Did y'all catch that? Let's play it again. Did y'all catch that? Our president keeping it real, man.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime.
You know? Hey. And also, here's another clip that I really love from this cabinet meeting. 7th cabinet meeting in a second term. 7th. Already the 7th cabinet meeting. Gotta throw a little emphasis on it. Put some respect on it. But I love how Trump let this real story be heard. It gave everybody in the room chills. He let this real story be heard. Y'all, check this out.
And would you like to mention what happened?
Of course. So first of all, thank you, Mr. President.
Do you want to listen to this?
For having me here to share my story to the room and to the broader public. My name is Iris Talman, White House correspondent for MTV, the sister media of the Epoch Times. So more than 2 years ago, it was a Saturday morning in broad daylight. I was on my way to work.
Broad daylight.
And a young man with a black ski mask pointed a gun at my face and threatened me to hand over my phone, my wallet, my laptop, and everything else. And when I refused, he used the butt of his handgun to strike me across the face, in the cheek, or what some people call pistol whip me, before running away. And that has deeply traumatized myself and my family. Ever since, I've never dared to walk in the street of DC at night, ever. And my family was extremely worried. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
Thank you for being honest.
Such incidents involve not just me, but also my family. If he had shot me, I could have died right there in the middle of nowhere without my families or my friends knowing at the age of back then, I think 23.
Right.
Just starting my career here in DC without even starting a family. Right now, I'm very blessed to have this opportunity.
So you had a gun pointed at your head, and you probably figured that he's going to pull the trigger because these are animals that don't know what the hell. They couldn't care less. The pulling the trigger to him is a very minor event, and I'm sure he's done it before. So how did you? And you did refuse to give it, which would probably, maybe somebody would say that was not the right decision, right? But you refused. But I understand that. So and then he hit you real hard.
Yes.
It's really amazing that you weren't shot, though, isn't it?
I'm very blessed, and that's why having this opportunity to stand here to share my story today. One, I'm very grateful for God for allowing me to still survive to this day, but also to Mr. President. Thank you for now making DC safer.
Thank you very much.
For us, for our families, for my parents, on my behalf of my parents, and now my baby on the way. Thank you so much.
Reporters and journalists, good people, and you don't have to say it, but that have also been attacked violently.
Scott Jennings, once again, keeping the lights on at CNN. Abby Phillips, what a disgrace. How does this heifer still got a job? The hell with CNN.
And it's also because the military serves a role to protect Americans, not to be used against Americans.
Exactly. You keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us, raping us, terrorizing our cities? I mean, you're saying like he's creating an actual war against American citizens when what he's actually creating is a war against criminals and, by the way, illegal aliens who they are rounding up by the bucket load in Washington.
I want to let Ellie...
Of course politics is going on here. I mean, you said that they should be asking for federal resources, but that would be an admission that they have lost control of their cities.
That's
so
not losing
Brandon
control.
Johnson,
I mean,
that would be an admission they've lost control.
The mayor of D.C. asked for federal resources too. She was trying to.
But Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, said, "I don't want more police," and he even said today, "We don't even want to put people in prison."
But this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that Democrats should think about potentially asking for more resources. What I'll say here is that I
agree with you, but they won't.
But it's also not handing over the entire city to the federal government. What happens is that the mayor and the local law enforcement should be in charge, and they should have the federal law enforcement supplement and provide training as needed. It shouldn't be that the National Guard and federal law enforcement should take over a city that they do not understand, that they do not know, that the community doesn't understand. That just leads to chaos.
when you heard
He also had a great take on the recent tragedy we just had a couple of hours ago, and we sent our prayers, love, and condolences down there to Minneapolis. Check this out.
Well, I think the first question you have to ask is, why did it happen? I don't think it happened because of guns. I think it happened because somebody who was clearly suffering from severe mental illness
had access to weapons that would allow them to carry out a terrible shooting.
And the mental illness was encouraged.
But Scott, what about people who don't have mental illness?
I don't think we can tiptoe around this issue. And when you look at the messages that were written in some of the materials and on the weapons that we've seen, I mean, this person obviously was in a dark place.
Obviously.
And I want to know,
obviously.
I'm not sure the government is in that person's life enough to know, but his parents are.
But what
his
about,
family is.
Scott, what about people who don't have mental illness? We have a huge gun violence issue here in the United States. We lead in gun violence.
But the issue today is quite obviously mental illness. And
if you take away the mental illness, it still leads to gun.
I actually had a negative reaction to the mayor's statements today. I think it's wrong, frankly, to vilify or attack people of faith. You said thoughts and prayers ring hollow. I think thoughts and prayers are the most solid on days of tragedy for people who live their faith every day. And I think on a day like today, particularly in a church community, there are probably people praying harder for comfort today than they have ever prayed in their life. And so I think, and I've heard others on the left today go down this line of attack against people of faith, sort of denigrating the idea that they might want to pray today. And so I think his statements were misguided. The thing that struck me today, Abby, truthfully, when I was watching this unfold, was that the two little ones that died were 8 and 10. I have 7 and 9. Those are my two youngest. They turn 8 and 10 in a few days. And we could probably sit here and argue out all the issues of faith and transgenderism and all the other things that have been raised today, but it strikes me that none of us ever want to know the terror and the absolute empty hole that will never be filled that those parents of the 8 and 10-year-old are going to feel. And I just thought maybe tonight the most useful thing any of us could do would take 10 seconds and just sit quietly and be still and be quiet and think about those families, because they are never going to be the same, no matter what we say.